Like I knew it was coming. I was just waiting for the video.
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. He made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information.
So Trump claims Obama released classified information. Does that mean something gonna happen to him? But to take the spotlight from Obama, he decided to do this.
Tonight, President Trump is directing government agencies to release files on UFOs, aliens, and extraterrestrial life. He's calling on Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to release, quote, any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters.
Everyone quickly went to say he's releasing the wrong file. We didn't ask for the alien files. We asked for the Epstein files. The ones that ain't covering up all the shit you have done. The ones that show that your ass is guilty. The world will continue to keep waiting for them, but ain't gonna never get them. So get ready for the A files, cause the E files ain't looking too bright. Aw shit, his State of the Union address is tonight. How many motherfuckers tuning in to this shit? It clearly has to be a big thing if they sending out text messages about this shit. Watch President Trump's State of the Union address tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So what do you think this motherfucker gonna talk about? Maybe some of those economic wins underneath his presidency. Maybe he's gonna talk about how the price of groceries has went down, that the price of gas is low. Shit, maybe he's even gonna talk about the price of rent has went down since he's been in office, even though we all know that's a bunch of bullshit. Maybe he's gonna talk about the tax cuts. Shit, maybe he's gonna bring up how the Supreme Court decided to say, hey, you need to give that money back. Maybe he's gonna talk about lower prescription drug prices. He's probably gonna discuss the Olympics since they're supposed to be in attendance. Who knows what's gonna come out this motherfucker's mouth tonight? But I say again, will you be tuning in? As always, let me know your thoughts on the situation. As for me, count me out. Can somebody do me a favor? Please direct me to these people that said this shit.
People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much. And I say, no, 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 you're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever.
I say again, to those people, where they at? Like, what is the American people winning at? Rents and mortgages have increased. The price of beef is still high. Fuck it, groceries is still high. Gas might be trending down, but how low can it really go? 2.4 million Americans lost food stamps. All the money that the United States has been making, y'all been keeping it. People still waiting for those Doge checks, those $2,000 stimulus checks. I mean, the list can go on. The rich is getting richer while the poor, you already know. Somebody let me know when this ride finally ends. Deion Cole was the host of the NAACP Awards last night, but I didn't know that he had a few jokes.
Lord, I want you to bless our sister Tiana Taylor, Lord. Keep her single and away from 6'3" green-eyed men with muscles, Lord. She's been going through a lot lately, Lord, and hasn't been herself, Lord. I believe whatever's in her ass is affecting her brain, Lord. Take it out of her ass, Lord. We bind that spirit in her ass, Lord.
Deion Cole starting off the NAACP Awards with prayer for Tiana Taylor, 50 Cent, and Nicki Minaj. Incredible. I wonder if Nicki Minaj saw the NAACP Awards. Will there be shots fired back? Everyone should have known that she wasn't going to be in attendance, as she hasn't been seen really anywhere. What is your take on the NAACP Awards? Did you enjoy it? As always, let me know your thoughts. Iran's supreme leader has been taken out? Clearly those Israel and U.S. strikes was on point. Meanwhile, Donald Trump gave them fair warning early this morning.
Members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or in the alternative, face certain death.
Well, clearly he wasn't lying about certain death if their supreme leader was taken out. So now who's going to take the credit for taking them out? Was it Israel bomb or was it the U.S.? I thought Donald Trump said the other day, no new wars. Looks like this one just started and ended real quickly. Will there be retaliation? Did this bomb strike help out the American people that's over there? Will they be released? Are they free? What are your thoughts on this situation? Make sure to stay tuned for more information. My eyes ain't deceiving me and your eyes ain't deceiving you neither. That right there is not Jim Carrey.
There's no meaning to any of this, so I wanted to find the most meaningless thing.
But who in the hell is this guy right here? The internet's going crazy talking about it's a clone.
I got a pretty big challenge trying to do my speech in French, so, I wrote it and I researched it and I practiced it like crazy.
You can't tell me this is the same person. That shit looks nothing alike whatsoever. Is this a new face or does he truly have a clone? Yeah, I had to just make sure that ain't Jim Carrey. But as always, what are you guys' thoughts about this? I mean, it's not like it hasn't happened before. Somebody being cloned. Lookalikes walking around as if they're that person. You know what I'm talking about. Again, you can't tell me that that's the same person. Facial features look nothing alike whatsoever. Is this the real deal or is this the Jim Carrey clone? The shit right here that happened to this couple is the reason why I don't do roommates.
Their roommate in a gas mask covering their food, kitchen, and pantry with insect poison.
I've been so sick this past year that I haven't been able to hardly do anything because of this guy. My husband's been sick. We were both in the ER within the last 2 weeks.
They say their doctor suggested they might have been poisoned. They checked out the footage from the cameras, and this is what they saw, covering everything from their groceries to the coffee pot they use daily.
First off, where did they find this roommate from? Did they not do a background check on this motherfucker? They state that the guy has mental health issues. They clearly didn't find this out before they let him move in. But the man was literally poisoning everything that they touched. And luckily, they had common sense to go to the doctor and get checked out. As I say again, this is why I don't do roommates. Honestly, if they didn't install cameras, they wouldn't have never knew that they was getting poisoned. All I'm gonna say, count me out.
Uber says it will launch Uber Air in Dubai later this year, letting riders book all-electric air taxis directly in the Uber app. The Uber taxi, flown by a certified commercial pilot, will seat 4 passengers and take off vertically with 6 propellers, flying up to 200 miles per hour. The aircraft is now in the final stages of FAA certification.
Most of the time, you can't trust your Uber driver. Now you expect me to trust a Uber pilot? Count me out. Always say, who bright idea was this shit? And then you have to share this flight with other motherfuckers? Talking about being in the air with random people? And they say this motherfucker can go almost up to 200 miles an hour? Count me out. I don't trust the pilot. I don't trust the plane. I wouldn't trust the motherfuckers that was in the motherfucker. But as always, how do you motherfuckers feel about this situation? Would you be taking an Uber flight? Would you be trusting another motherfucker with your life? Or would you be like me? Count me out. So J.D. Vance told the world yesterday that they were going to be pausing benefits for almost 400,000 people in Minnesota.
We're announcing today that we have decided to temporarily halt certain amounts of Medicaid funding that are going to the state of Minnesota in order to ensure that the state of Minnesota takes its obligations seriously to be good stewards of the American people's tax.
Now, he claims these steps are to prevent the fraud from going on. Meanwhile, 400,000 people are going to be without Medicare.
Did you hear in there what specific steps they were going to take to stop the fraud or what the specific fraud they were talking about? They're using it as a general term in this, and they're not serious. So we're at a crossroads here in Minnesota.
So in other words, people going to be without food and health care. How long does this plan to go on? Out of all places, why did they start in Minnesota? Will they be going from state to state doing this? As always, I would love to know you guys' thoughts. Is this a distraction? Are they trying to cripple the economy? Or is this just a move to let us know who's boss? Well, if you didn't know, the State of the Union is still on right now, and Diaper Don has covered a lot of key points. Meanwhile, the Democrats ain't feeling shit he's saying out his mouth. He claims that inflation is down to 1.7%. He says since taking office, 2.4 million Americans are off food stamps. The first thing he said when he came out on stage was, "America's back." He also made sure to mention that we have the strongest borders ever. He claims that the stock market is booming. He even looked over at the Democrats and told them it was something wrong with them. Oh yeah, one of the Democrats got kicked out before he even began. He claimed in Ohio the gas is as low as $1.85 per gallon. Mortgages are down $5,000 since he got in office. 0 illegal aliens have entered the U.S. since the border closing. He gave the Medal of Freedom to a goalie on the U.S. hockey team. That's the only time the Democrats stood for that. He called out the Democrats for not voting for the tax cuts. Of course, he mentioned no tax on tips. Joe Biden came out of his mouth several times this evening. He gave away several Medal of Honors to different people. And I could seriously go on, but at this point, you know where I'm going with this. Melania Trump ain't looking too happy. If I was to keep going, this video would be longer than it needs to be. Did you miss anything? Probably not. As always, what are your thoughts on this situation?
I already knew somehow that the Trump administration was going to try to take some type of credit for El Mencho being killed. Like, what did you expect? Killing a cartel leader and thinking that it wasn't going to be repercussions. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, this is wild. Caroline Levitt said last night that the U.S. provided intelligence support to the Mexican government. Then she went on to say the Trump administration commends and thanks the Mexican military for their cooperation and successful execution of this operation. Meanwhile, motherfuckers can't even leave the country as they setting airplanes on fire and shit. You got Mexican police being trapped by the cartel. They blocking off streets and not allowing cops to pass through. Them taking out El Mencho has only made shit worse for Mexicans and Americans that's stuck there.
There's 2 other trucks on fire down here. I think you can kind of see them.
They definitely didn't think this through. Who knows when this shit is gonna end? For all the people that's out there, be safe.
We got some breaking news in Mexico today. El Mencho, the head of the cartel, has been unalived. Meanwhile, the Mexican president is praising the organizations for a job well done. But what they did not anticipate was going to happen next. People walking down the streets with automatic rifles. In different parts of Mexico, cars were set on fire. In certain areas of Mexico, streets was full of smoke. They clearly didn't think about the people before they carried out this operation. This is how the cartel decided to respond. And at this hour, multiple groups have burned multiple vehicles across the country. Many Americans have been left stranded in Mexico while violence continues. Shelter in place has been activated all through the country. Something like this will not stop overnight. There's always consequences and repercussions when some shit like this is carried out. All innocent people of Mexico and America, I hope y'all stay safe. As always, stay tuned for more as more information becomes available. This is what witnesses saw moments before Daquan Johnson was unalived.
They grabbed the thing. He on his stomach, both hands behind his back. He's not reaching for, oh my God. Oh my motherfucking God.
Now they claim on body cam, officers were repeatedly telling Daquan to stop moving because he was reaching for something. They also told him that if he keep reaching, he's gonna get shot. Moments later, 3 shots was fired. Moments before, Daquan was riding his bicycle when a squad car decided to pull him over. Which at this moment, Daquan did not pull over, he continued to flee away from the police. Now the reason they're giving that he did not stop is because 1, he was on parole, and 2, he had a firearm that he shouldn't have been carrying. You can clearly see he was on the ground when the K9 went up and bit the shit out of him, while the officers stood over him waiting for his backup. Seemed like everything was under control, so why unalive him? Again, Grand Rapids police is stating that he was unalive because he continued to keep reaching for something which they assumed was a firearm. Which Grand Rapids police stated they have a picture of the firearm that was recovered from the scene. If you ask me, this was an execution and bad police training. As always, how do y'all feel about this situation? My thoughts and my prayers go out to his family. So the Chicago Bears are facing backlash if they move to Indiana, basically a slap in the face to Chicago. Now on Thursday, Indiana unanimously voted to give the Bears the funding they needed to build a new stadium. Well, that didn't sit too well with the Chicago fans. I mean, come on now, Indiana already got its own NFL team. No one wants to see Welcome to Indiana, the Hoosier State. The Bears are Chicago. Even Wikipedia tells you that the Bears are Chicago. The only two remaining franchise teams from the 1920s. Chicago is the home of the Chicago Bears. After one good season, now they think it's time to relocate. Now, some people didn't know that Soldier Field is owned by the city. So the Bears can't do really no renovations to it because it's owned by the Park District. This is the reason why they want to get a new stadium. But if this motherfucker don't find some way to keep the Bears in Chicago, all hell gonna break loose. It's monsters of the Midway, not the fucking Indiana Bears. I mean, nothing against Indiana, but y'all got y'all own team. We want to keep ours. I swear every time this lady moves her mouth, this is all I see. Yeah, you guessed it.
The annual rental cost for a new rental unit has fallen nearly $100 so far under President Trump, after rising more than $3,000 under Joe Biden.
I swear Joe Biden gonna go down in history as living rent-free in motherfuckers' head.
And many are crediting that to the president's deportation efforts to remove illegal aliens from our communities and therefore from housing that should be used for American citizens.
So in other words, she trying to say the price of rent has went down. I call bullshit. No matter where you look, people have been complaining about the price of rent, their mortgages increasing, property taxes, and etc. So where the hell is she getting this information from? Because clearly it's not obtainable for the public. These motherfuckers give themselves more credit than they deserve. Shit has only been rising. Nothing has came down. But as always, what are you guys' thoughts? Have you seen a decrease in your rent lately? As your property taxes went down? Inquiring minds want to know.
Shit, all I want to know is when is these funds going to become available so I can get my portion? So in case you need to be brung up to speed, all that bullshit that Donald Trump was doing with them tariffs, it backfired. And $175 billion is possibly going to be refunded back to the people. As Governor Pritzker didn't waste no time when he decided to address Donald Trump. President Trump, your tariff taxes wreaked havoc on farmers, enraged our allies, and sent grocery prices through the roof. This morning, your hand-picked Supreme Court justices notified you that they are also unconstitutional. On behalf of the people of Illinois, I demand a refund of $1,700 for every family in Illinois. There are 5,105,448 households in my state, bringing the total damages you owe to $8,679,261,600. The Supreme Court ruled that this is yet one more unconstitutional act by you and your administration. This letter and the attached invoice stand as an official notice that compensation is owed to the people of Illinois. It's time to run that money, Trump. Motherfuckers have sent out the notice and they want to collect. I'm sure all y'all feel the same motherfucking way. Run me my money. This man's attorney should have been locked up instantly when he said this shit out his mouth. Yes, you heard what that motherfucker said. And what's crazy is they caught it on tape. Why didn't nobody review this shit and put this man in jail? You could just look at the expression on this man's face. He looks scared shitless. But if you didn't hear it, let me play it back for you. Clearly, the attorney was upset because he was saying more than 5 words when answering a question, giving them too much information that they shouldn't be getting. But what blows me when shit like this is caught on tape, there are no repercussions afterwards. Is this man gonna lose his law license? Because we definitely heard him threaten this man on video. As always, I would love to know you wonderful people's thoughts. Is this shit acceptable or unacceptable? Do you agree or disagree? At this point, somebody gotta make this shit make sense.
How is it that a black man was found hanging from a tree in Marietta, Georgia, and really no news outlet is talking about it? The first thing that police say is that there was no foul play, as if that isn't the first thing they always say. Now, detectives claim they reviewed surveillance footage from the park and surrounding areas, interviewed witnesses, and collected physical evidence from the scene where witnesses reported seeing a man enter the wooded area alone on February 14th at approximately 4:28 p.m. Again, police are saying that there are no sounds of foul play, and detectives found no evidence indicating that anyone else was involved in the man's death. As a result, detectives have determined the death is being investigated as a suicide. Every time something like this happens, there's no foul play and it's always considered suicide. I don't know any black man that's gonna take his own life by suicide by hanging himself. Like, this shit right here needs to stop and more investigative work needs to come to fruition. Kyle Bassins, remember his name, because that's who this young man was. So this was the notice that Jim Jones was served with when he got evicted from his studio. But King of Petty, yes, 50 Cent, was somehow able to obtain the video.
He cut the lights on. You're not supposed to, you heard Jim? Huh? He cut the lights on.
Didn't your coach always tell you to never skip leg day?
What happened? Yeah, I'm good. No, it's mine. My problem. All right? You got a problem, call somebody.
That man said, if you got a problem, call somebody. You think she didn't? Count me out. As we all can see, he was able to enter the studio by force. We gonna have to start calling 50 Cent Private 50. 50 Cent is not a rapper no more. He's an investigator, bringing us the news that we can use. So this past weekend, an interview was done with President Obama, and they decided to chime in on aliens.
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in... what is it?
Area 51?
Area 51. There's no underground facility unless there's this enormous conspiracy and they hid it from the President of the United States.
Ever since Obama blew the whistle, now Trump decided to chime in yesterday. Based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant department and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to an alien and extraterrestrial life. Now, how many of y'all seen this coming when Obama said what he said? I already knew that Trump was gonna try to take the spotlight. At this point, I don't believe people don't think that aliens are real. They just want more clarification. If it wasn't for Obama blowing the whistle on aliens being real, Trump would have never tweeted this shit out yesterday. I can't wait to see what information gets released. Now it makes sense where he getting these people from. He pardoned all these motherfuckers.
I fell in love with this man.
Yeah, because that motherfucker gave you a pardon.
With his heart, with his heart for this country, with his heart to really bring America back to the form of greatness that it deserved. And that's exactly what he has done. My story is truly a Joseph story. This president right here, President Donald Trump, brought me from the prison pit to the White House.
Say it ain't so. He knew the right motherfuckers to go after. I bet the administration called them motherfuckers up that he pardoned like, yeah, we need y'all to come say something good about this motherfucker. He gave you a pardon? You better bring your ass. No, sir? Yes, sir. Like, how do y'all feel about this shit? First, I thought it was paid actors. But now I see it's just motherfuckers grateful that they got a pardon. As I'm sure this was one of the clauses in their pardon. You know some shit ain't right when the Pope declines your invitation.
In our time, the weakness of multilateralism is a particular cause for concern at the international level. A diplomacy that promotes dialogue and seeks consensus among all parties is being replaced by a diplomacy based on force by either individuals or groups of allies. War is back in vogue, and the zeal for war is spreading.
So in other words, the Pope said, not today, Satan. Like, damn, has the Pope ever declined the invitation from the White House? Somebody might want to go check into that. And if y'all didn't know, the Pope is from Chicago, so he can sniff bullshit a mile away. I can just imagine how Donald Trump responded when he found out the Pope did not want to accept his invitation. A tide is coming and some shit is definitely brewing. How many of y'all out there believe the Pope made the right move? The further you are away from Satan, the better. All I want to know is where they find these people at and how much did they pay these motherfuckers? Cause these motherfuckers on a roll.
I am here today to just tell you that no tax on tips has been an amazing blessing for me. President Trump has been an amazing blessing for me. And at the end of the day, Jesus has been an amazing blessing for me.
This motherfucker say Trump has been an amazing blessing for her. I wonder what she's saying that shit when $1,000 extra was coming out her pocket a month because of those tariffs. She says it's a blessing for the no tax on tips. As if it's been a whole year and you've seen a complete difference. Like, where are they finding these motherfuckers at? Toby? Yes, sir? No, sir. All I'm gonna say is count me out. But again, kudos to the motherfucker that was able to find these type of motherfuckers. Doing all this shit before these midterms. Trying to turn it around even though he know he can't. And some of y'all out there with a spoon just eating this shit up. Like, where are they finding these people at? These motherfuckers are some paid actors.
We are living under the administration of the greatest president in our lifetime.
Oh, this motherfucker done lost his mind.
We have the hottest country in our lifetime. And I want to make sure the mainstream media knows this because you represent the people who basically counter what the mainstream media has done. President Trump was the president who fully funded historically black colleges and universities.
Meanwhile, this is the same motherfucker that's trying to erase our existence. Like, what the hell is wrong with these people? Clearly, they got a hold of some of that good shit, and I need some of that. All I want to know is how much did they pay this motherfucker? Like, I know some of y'all feel the same way. Like, somebody please make it make sense. Like, I wonder who they gonna find to have talk next. Using all these black folks for political gain. But we all know this motherfucker don't give a damn about us.